All right, aloha, Tulsi fans and radical independents. I want you to all stay radical, stay focused. Tulsi Gabbard up in New Hampshire today. By the way, my name is Dave, and this is the Radical Independent, where we've decided on this particular channel, we meaning the folks that watch and yours truly, the host, that we will continue on trying to get Tulsi Gabbard across the finish line as the Democratic nominee for president. A few thoughts on that that I've had is that if Tulsi does get the nomination, she's going to beat Donald Trump in a very historic landslide. It would be something, I bet you close to 40 states would vote for Tulsi Gabbard for president. If you try to brand her as some kind of a crazy liberal, it's not going to stick. She's got the support of libertarians, people from the Green Party, independents, disaffected Trump voters and supporters who see the error of Donald Trump. And speaking of Donald Trump, this here was a town hall in Manchester. Tulsi Gabbard in New Hampshire today, just hitting it out of the park, crisscrossing the state, or even if she's not crisscrossing, she's maybe in the same vicinity, but she's campaigning her butt off, okay? And this is somebody who is not quitting and who's not stopping despite what the DNC is doing to her in her campaign. Let me play this very important clip here where Tulsi basically tells us that she's in it to win it.
That treaty, Trump tore it up and threw it in the trash, and now has sparked the fuel that is flaming the arms race. Who benefits from this arms race? An arms race that cannot be won. Do we? No. Even you know that. No. Who benefits? Do you know?
Nobody.
One group benefits from this. The people who make a hell of a lot of money making those bombs, right? The rest of us and the world is less safe as a result. I know you know that. So this is where we are, and this is why I'm running for president.
Okay, so this is why Tulsi Gabbard is running for president. She's running on a peace platform. It's not a glib, pie-in-the-sky, give peace a chance platform. This is a platform where people who understand what's at stake, both with domestic and foreign policy, have jumped in with both feet. A lot of libertarians are just doing this when they hear the domestic policies, are just doing this. And not only have I decided not to block my ears when I hear about domestic policy, I've become woken, sorry about that word, to the idea that the citizenry should be the ones reaping any sort of economic windfall from the country. If the country succeeds, all the citizens should benefit. And I'm not talking about socialism or communism or anything like that. I'm talking about, like Tulsi proposed, a peace dividend. UBI is becoming a thing. More people are talking about UBI. Tulsi mentioned it on the campaign trail today. So, again, this is not far-fetched. Automation is here. Things are becoming more difficult for folks who are working class, blue-collar, who don't fit into a certain mold, who can't get employment doing the things that they had always been doing. So let's get to the punchline here, because this little snippet here just re-inspired me to double down and to just keep on keeping on with Tulsi Gabbard's campaign.
So this is where we are, and this is why I'm running for president. There are people who are saying, well, Tulsi, you're not in the debates, maybe you should just drop out of the race. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. This is who I'm fighting war.
There you go. It's not going to happen. Hey, DNC. Hey, DNC, it's not going to happen. Hey, Kamala Harris. It's not going to happen. Beto O'Rourke. All of you lower on the totem pole Democrats who are fake progressives or resistance movement people, Elizabeth Warren, it's not going to happen. Okay? Elizabeth Warren will not bring this country together. She does not appeal to working class voters. Tulsi Gabbard does. Her roots are all working class roots. All right? Now, she doesn't do the same kind of domestic policy. I don't know. Her stump speech is more geared toward foreign policy. But whenever the topic of domestic policy comes up, she has basically the same agenda as Bernie Sanders, except she's much more viable as a candidate for president in a general election. Let me repeat it again. I think she could win 40 states if she becomes the nominee. And that's up to the DNC. It's up to the DNC and the media establishment. You know, if the media establishment suddenly decided, hey, rather than just cause a turf war, rather than just be a ratings machine, maybe we can do some hard news and tell people about the water crisis in Flint, Michigan. Maybe we can talk about the destruction down in the Bahamas and bring a news crew down there to raise awareness of what those people are going through. You know, maybe we could really do some good in this world rather than just be 24/7 tabloid news and focusing on Donald Trump and every word that he utters. I mean, even Trump fans have got to be tired of hearing about Trump. You know, the map where the hurricane was going to go, and Trump did some Sharpie or whatever saying the hurricane was going to go to Alabama. Hurricane Dorian. It's just nuts. By the way, people should be concerned about Nova Scotia tonight, because that thing is making a beeline to that place. Of course, the U.S. media won't talk about it because it's not America, it's Canada, our neighbors to the north. So, in any event, I am heartened by Tulsi's intestinal fortitude here. This shows me that I've backed the right horse, excuse the expression. Some days I wake up and I go, everybody's kind of in a fog. They're in a haze. They don't see how incredible this candidate is. As much as Bernie Sanders has got this thing going on that comes from his years of being in the Senate and then his campaign from 2016 where he got shafted. And a lot of people came back and said, hey, we're just going to support Bernie again. Tulsi is a better version of Bernie Sanders. And by the way, for all you Bernie people now who are saying, Tulsi should just drop out. Just drop out and support Bernie Sanders. No way. No way. I mean, I'm down the road. I will look at Bernie if I need to look at Bernie. But I'm thinking that if Tulsi gets kneecapped, Bernie's going to get kneecapped as well. If there's just no way for Tulsi to get the nomination, my guess is Bernie is next. And Elizabeth Warren is going to be crowned queen, much like what they did with Hillary Clinton. Warren is dangerous because she pretty much is Hillary Clinton with more energy. She's not falling into vans. She's not passing out. She's showing up for events. She's a vigorous campaigner, which means that if she shows up and the media shows up with her, that's a 1-2 punch of propaganda, which, what I'm getting at here is they can frame this like Elizabeth Warren is for the little guy. Elizabeth Warren's life does not represent any of those values. She is the candidate for white, liberal, affluent, suburban people who want to keep what they have, who don't want to spread their wealth around, who don't want to change their lifestyle whatsoever, and who look down upon the poor and the least of these, and the people that I believe Tulsi Gabbard and to some degree Bernie Sanders represent. And this country has got to get back on track when it comes to morals. Right now, we are a morally bankrupt country. We are a consumer-driven country, just on consumerism, and we are a military-driven country, drumming and beating the drums of war, just so some people can make money off of the death of people in other countries. It's some scary stuff, and we can do better. And Tulsi Gabbard is that candidate, and she can take us there. And look, I don't put my faith and trust in a human being, all right? We all have to be helpful in this journey. We can't just sit around and hope for the best. We've got to give money. We've got to tell our neighbors and friends. If you do videos for a living, you got to keep making videos. You got to keep talking about this, because the more videos that are out there, the more people will stumble on those videos. And by the way, again, I want to thank those people who sent PayPal donations. The PayPal link was not working for a while today, so I wasn't able to send thank yous out, but I really appreciate that. Let you know a portion, it's a small portion, but a portion of that revenue goes over to a very worthy cause, and that is St. Jude's Children's Hospital. It's my late mother's charity, and I decided that I would pick up the torch and start to support some well-deserving kids who have cancer and other illnesses. It's a great charity. So in any event, if you give to this channel, some of that, it's a small portion, but it does go into that. And I just started doing it last month because I was really grateful for the revenue stream. So in any event, let's just pick up a little more of this up. Tulsi Gabbard, again, kicking butt in New Hampshire today. I mean, how do you keep up with her? 38 years old, and another thing, she's got youth, she's got energy, she's got, let's just say that she's very easy on the eyes, and I think she could just absolutely beat Donald Trump in a very large landslide. That's my prediction. I'm hoping that I can stand by and watch that prediction as it plays itself out.
We're not in this to play games. We understand what is at stake. We are fighting for your future. To make sure that you have one. To make sure that no family has to live in fear of a potential nuclear attack that would end up in annihilation of our country and the world. We are staying in this fight to bring about the kind of real change we need to see. Whereas President, I will end these wasteful wars, work to end this new Cold War and arms race, and take these trillions of dollars that have been draining out of our pockets, out of our schools, out of our healthcare system, out of our community, and redirect those resources back where they belong. Back towards serving the very real and urgent needs of our people right here at home. This issue of the cost of war and our foreign policy is central to every other issue that we face.
And there you have it. That's what she just said is what this campaign is about. And what so many people really don't understand in the Democratic Party, in the Republican Party. Some in the Libertarian Party get it, and a lot of people in the Green Party get it. And I've made this statement before. If Bernie and or Tulsi are both eliminated by the DNC, because that's how it's going to go down, it's not going to be the people that tell Tulsi and Bernie to go home. It's going to be the DNC that orchestrates that. Then it's time to go green. It's time to go independent. It's time for another way. And you're looking at somebody here who was very conservative a couple of years ago, and I'm still conservative on a lot of social issues, and I've already made that plain. I'm not going to go into that here again, but there's too much at stake now. As she said, it's no longer time to play games with this political process. This isn't a football game. This isn't a tribalism thing where you want your tribe to win just because you don't like Donald Trump, for instance. That's not enough. And Tulsi has said that over and over again. It's not enough just to get rid of Donald Trump. We need to reform the entire political system, the entire economic system, the entire military, how we go about just promoting the military, both in our culture and through our budgets. It's absolutely mind-boggling and mind-numbing for somebody to watch this happen, and you just can see the money just being sucked away. And then there are homeless encampments. I don't care if they're addicted. I don't care if they're using the system or they don't want to work, whatever the excuse is. There's a way to rehabilitate people, to get them to shelter, to get them to safety, and then to work on their issues. They're human beings. We're all human beings created in the image of God, and all of us need a chance, a second chance, a third chance. Tulsi's not giving up on us, and I don't think we should give up on her. So, that's my video. Again, Tulsi in New Hampshire. Watch some of these videos, tulsigabbard.org, tulsigabbard.com, Tulsi 2020. She's just on fire. She's absolutely on fire today, and I'm hoping that this, again, will get to the DNC, and they'll actually say to themselves, we got to let her back in. We got to let her into these debates, because if she's excluded from a debate and she gets to go back in, that's going to be very newsworthy, and that could be yet another springboard for her campaign, and I'm sure she'll have some spicy rhetoric if she's allowed to speak in another debate. All right, I'm done. Long-winded here, but I'm really excited that Tulsi Gabbard shows no signs of stopping.